Okay. And then what we normalize versus what we silence. So our culture shapes how we respond to pain. For all of you that are on the call, for my Nigerian people, and even if you're not Nigerian and you're on the call, Niger people, you guys can take a lot. Let me just say this. As an American, as a Nigerian American living abroad, you guys can take a lot. If you give an American person the same kind of stress and struggle you guys face back home, they will collapse. Just finish. But Nigerian people, every challenge, every obstacle, every whatever is standing in our way, we find a way to overcome. That's just culturally, that's how we are. That's how we're brought up. There's nothing that will stand in our way that we will not achieve. If we push, if we try, we go get them. But we also have to understand that that perpetuates some of the trauma that we experience, right? Because when you're constantly pushing and pushing and pushing, and you never stop to catch your breath, you never stop to express what is stressing you, you never stop to just to scream if you need to scream. All that pressure sits on you in a negative way. It doesn't actually help you succeed. Sometimes it ends up becoming a barrier to your success. So, as a people, we have a high pain tolerance because everything that we experience in life is painful, is stressful. But as I've heard some of my peers say, you didn't die. Now tomorrow you'll still see. So get up, continue, right? We'll still see tomorrow. So we don't have chance to be sitting here and just crying. Crying will not solve anything. So what we want our people to understand when it comes to the mental health space, it is perfectly fine to need a minute to stop. It is perfectly okay to not like what it is that you're going through, to not like what you are experiencing. That makes you human. Even as Nigerian people who are strong, who are educated, who are changing things in the world, you are still a human being first, right? So what we want people to understand is that although we take a lot and we overcome a lot, it doesn't stop our very system, the body that we're in now, from also experiencing those things and not liking what it's experiencing. So what we want people to think is, instead of just pushing through like, oh yeah, get to the other side, get to the other side. Let's take a second and make sure that we're okay so we can get to the other side. So now when we reach the other side, all this trauma that happened over here does not follow us into the next place. A great example of this is like for any of you guys that may be parents, if you have kids, things like that, you know that there's things that your parents did. Some things you like, some things you don't like, right? But if you're a parent now, there's probably things that you're doing with your children, either the same as what your parents did or different. But the idea behind that is like you're trying to teach your children new skills, new whatever it may be, so that they can grow up and be successful, be happy, have the things that they deserve to have in life. In doing that, we're teaching them and we're breaking that trauma cycle that's been passed down to us. We're letting that break with us as their parents. So here we just want to be sure that what we are being taught, if it's not good, don't pass it down. And if it is good, continue to pass it down over time.